it's your favourite girl Gabriella from calmlifestyle.com. Now, anyone experienced in dating and romantic relationships will tell you that it's not all the bubbles of glitter and bliss throughout. It comes with its set of challenges, but finding a solution that leaves the couple in a happy state is what nourishes and builds a strong and healthy relationship. Nevertheless, it is not uncommon to see women glued to abusive guys. What makes this women stay? Can't they just leave? Walking out of an abusive relationship is easier on paper than it is in person. The different forms that abuse takes in romantic relationships dictate the power and control that the abuser has on their partner. When people talk about abusive relationships, most people think of women as the victim. However, men also experience abuse in relationships and feel trapped in them. But today we'll not talk about guys. In today's video, I'll be exploring why women stay in abusive relationships. I know that some of these reasons are also similar to why men stay in abusive relationships, but let's get right in. But guys, before I continue, why don't you hit that lovely subscribe button and turn on the notifications so that you don't miss out on the next coming video. Their confidence and self-esteem are trashed. No one likes being on the receiving end constantly for something unpleasant, but one of the main reasons why women stay in abusive relationships is because they don't have the confidence and self-worth to walk away from it. Emotional abuse is one of the forms that abusive relationships take. However, sometimes some women don't realize that they are in an abusive relationship because of the absence of physical harm. Emotional abuse can leave a person feeling isolated, confused, and in doubt of their sanity. In emotionally abusive relationships, the abuser creates an unhealthy dependency and makes the abused believe that no one can love them or provide for them as they do. The manipulation involved in emotionally abusive relationships also makes it a ton harder for someone to walk away. Skilled soothing episodes after abuse. The next reason that women find themselves stuck in abusive relationships is that some abusers launch a skilled soothing episode after abuse. Everyone wants to feel genuinely loved, and we know that people aren't perfect. Silently, that's the type of mindset that keeps a woman hooked in a vicious cycle. Some women get blinded by the soothing phase and let go of the abuse, hoping that their partner has changed. The cycle of how a honeymoon phase pops up right after an abusive episode makes it challenging for the woman to leave. The abuser makes a convincing impression that they are willing to work on themselves and the relationship to make it a happier and healthier environment for their partner. Now, the psychological abuse that a woman in this position experiences makes decision-making blurry. They are in love. Love is a strong feeling, and sometimes it's hard to escape from what the heart desires, even if it comes at the cost of your mind. Love is a common reason that some women stay in abusive relationships. When a woman is in love, she hopes that if she stays long enough, the guy will learn to love her the way that she desires. It's common for guys that fall for bad boys, hoping they'll be the ones that change them. But when love is fused with a saviour's complex, the woman finds herself a victim of her own desires. She'll turn blind to the abuse and focus on what the relationship will be when the guy finally gets to see her for her. Also, the abusive partner uses their partner's feelings as a weapon to keep them in the relationship. Social pressure. Social pressure is another thing that forces women to stay in abusive relationships. Social pressure can be self-induced or felt directly by people around. We are in a society where people don't have much private life. We share the best parts of our relationships with the world, and when we are heartbroken, everyone gets to know. The social pressure to have displayed a happy and perfect relationship can drive a woman into staying in an abusive relationship. Another thing is the social pressure that comes from family and friends when a woman is married or has kids. If the abuse is not physical, most people won't understand the intensity of what the woman is going through. Instead, they are encouraged to stay in an abusive relationship because there are no perfect relationships. To add to that, the belief that households with two parents offer a stable and comfortable environment for the kids makes it challenging for women to see any alternative. Financial dependence. Financial dependence is another major reason why women stay in abusive relationships. When a woman is faced with the decision to choose between a less ideal quality of life because of a lack of financial muscle and an abusive relationship, it becomes a battle of the lesser evil. A study was done to see the relationship between income and divorce and found that women's income decreases up to 20%, while the male counterparts increase by almost 30%. Some women choose to stay in abusive relationships not because they want to, but because the alternative seems worse. Most perpetrators in an abusive relationship hold something of significance in the relationship to wield the sword of power and control. It feels shameful. Some women stay in abusive relationships because they are ashamed to speak up and walk away. The complexities of how abuse takes place in a relationship can make it challenging for a woman to explain it or blame herself for the abuse inflicted on her. For example, some women feel ashamed when they've been sexually abused in their relationships, and the helplessness that a woman feels in that position leaves her at the mercy of their abusive partner. The case becomes even more difficult for the woman if a guy is a trophy boy and everyone looks at them as the epitome of a good partner or parent. Abusive relationships leave people broken and hurt. It can trigger a mistrust that can deter a woman from committing to romantic relationships, thus robbing her of the thrill of life that comes with being in love and being loved. Understanding how our actions affect the lives of others, especially those gracious enough to trust us with their feelings and love us, can inspire us to treat them better and respectfully. Well, that brings us to the end of today's video. Please give the video a thumbs up and share it with a friend. We have so many more interesting videos coming out soon. Please do turn on the notifications button so that you won't miss out. Please do also check out our services and ebooks and products at calmlifestyles.com, and thank you so much, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.